Today there's new YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder, new shades of the Guerlain Terracotta Blush, and 2 new Viseart Petits 4 palettes. Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have a myriad of new products yet again, as you saw in the little intro there. We're going to be talking about Guerlain, Saint Laurent, and Viseart today. So glad to have you here. Don't forget that you can also check out my content and follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and on Threads. But we've got a lot to do here today, and as usual, I will have very overly involved, perhaps, timestamps down below that you can follow along either under your screen or down below in the description bar. I'd rather have you here for the whole thing, but if you're just here to see a particular shade or a particular product, I want you to be able to find it faster. We are all busy. A little programming note, you might note a slight difference maybe in the video quality. Kevyn the camera, yes, my little Canon camera is named Kevyn with a Y after Aqua, of course, is in the shop. He's in the hospital, the Canon camera hospital. His little microphone port is not working, bless his sweet little camera heart. So he will be there for the week, and I am borrowing an older camera that I have tried to bend to my will and brighten it up a bit. So I hope it's not causing any rubbing of the eyes. Kevyn the camera will be back all fixed up with his sound working again soon, I hope. I checked on him. I said, keep Kevyn, keep him safe. He lives his life like a pampered Persian cat. They agreed. And they call him Kevyn there, which I like. I like that they know my camera's name. All right, so let's talk about what we got here today. 3 different new products, all brand new. So we're going to start with the Guerlain Terracotta Blush. I have 2 of them here. This is a $55 new blush from Guerlain that comes in 6 different shades. It is ultra buildable, they call it. And I will agree with them on that. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the demo. Now, there are 6 shades, and what Guerlain has done that's really interesting here is they've taken those shades and made them go either by appearance or preference. So for instance, I picked up 2 of the 6 shades. I picked up Light Coral and Deep Nude. Who did I get these from? Thank you, Andrew. You know I talk about Andrew over at Neiman Marcus in Chicago. He hooks me up with all the cool stuff. And I always have Andrew's information down below. Don't forget about him for not just Tom Ford. We're talking luxury. Andrew knows them all. He's at Neiman Marcus in Chicago. So definitely hit him up for your luxury needs. I know I do. He's listed down below there. Okay, so let's talk about these that Andrew got for me. They do have a little bit of a scent. Okay, so when like Too Faced or Tarte does a scent, and I know Too Faced does a lot of them, I'm still a little bit kind of like yuck. But when a fragrance house, a storied perfume house, has fragrance in their product, I forgive them. I mean, like, who am I to judge Guerlain on fragrance? I mean, really, you know what I'm saying? So I forgive them, and it does dissipate, but it is there, just so you know. What's really cool about these shades, though, is you can match your skin tone, or you can just go with a preferred shade because you think it's pretty. And there's 6 shades, as I said, and you'll see them swatched in 2 different lights. We have our brand new Light Coral and the Deep Nude in these Terracotta Blush. Let's take a look at the compact. It is that typical Guerlain Terracotta compact that has the kind of almost holographic Guerlain symbol in it there. And then it opens up with a pretty little mirror. And it's kind of tortoise-shelly in the hologram. Just a lovely presentation. Also really nice and tight, easy to travel with. A beautiful blush. I've got some pretty products here today. Okay, then we're going to talk all about the YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder. This has an amazing case, and we're now used to these beautiful, you know, they mimic the puffer purses from Saint Laurent. These are, this is the case it is in. It's, of course, bronzy brown, and we have the gold YSL on it. This is $65 in the US. Funnily enough, I noticed if you had ordered it on Harrods, it would have been $50 US. It depends whether you'd have to pay shipping on that or not, if you have a deal worked out with them. Big mirror inside, big, beautiful, kind of quilted looking bronzer inside. There are, let's see how many shades there are. There are 5 shades. And I got the shade 2, which is called Buff Dune. And there is no discernible, discernible fragrance in the YSL. The reason I say discernible is I am not an ingredient junkie. We have so many amazing ingredient gurus in our comment section. I let them do that. I let them do that heavy lifting. I'm just telling you what I noticed, just the sniffer. You know, let me tell you, with the Guerlain, you're going to notice it. With here, I don't. This is something that you can use to sculpt, to blur the skin, to just warm the skin. It's full of really good skincare ingredients. It's sweat proof. They say it's stress proof. We'll just see about that, won't we? And they say that it is crease proof. And it is an absolutely beautiful product. I always say this, you pay for packaging, you might as well enjoy this. And there's just no doubt that YSL is giving us, Saint Laurent is giving us this beautiful packaging lately on their eyeshadows, their little compacts. This is absolutely lovely, and I'll be using this on the eyes as well. You know, they joke. The joke going around now is Gen Z telling everyone they can't wear skinny jeans, they can't side part the hair, they can't wear eyeshadow. I don't think, I disagree with that, but I do tend to put a lot of bronzer in the crease of my eyes, especially if I'm working with any sort of a shimmer shade. So this will come in handy. It's a very pretty product, but we'll try it on and we'll talk about it and we will swatch it in a moment. And then let's talk about the star of the hour, because I still think the star of the hour is eyeshadow, especially eyeshadow from Viseart. And Viseart has released 2 affordable little new Petit Fours. We have the Hesperides palette and we have the Isolde palette. So let's talk about them a little bit. These are celebrating strong women. Okay, so Hesperides, of course. Hey, where's Eleni? We have a lot of viewers from the Greek Isles, and I know Eleni is one of them. She and I talk all the time. I call her our Greek goddess, but we have a few other. Say hello if you are from Greece. The Hesperides are the Greek daughters of the evening, and Viseart says these are goddess-worthy shades, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look at this. They're kind of just like almost like violet or lavender leaning neutrals, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I mean, I can just see them in the viewfinder, and we are going to swatch them in 2 different lights. And then we have Isolde. You've heard of Tristan and Isolde. This is Forbidden Love with Duty, Star-Crossed Lovers, and Fate, Forbidden Love, Love Potion. And that is this palette right here. These are just perfect for spring, rebirth, and love. Another kind of neutral palette, like a hyped up neutral. Okay, let me hold Isolde next to Hesperides. So this is Hesperides and Isolde right there. And you know, Isolde, Hesperides, and we're going to swatch them, of course. And you guys know that over on Instagram, I use my Instagram for swatches mostly. You know, I talk about some other fun stuff, but mostly swatches. So if you need these compared to any other Viseart palettes or anything else across the board, I am so happy to do that for you. You can ask me here. You can ask me over on Instagram or DM me, whatever you need to see. We need to go to some swatches now. So we're going to do this in 2 different lights. Let's start in studio lighting. We have the Guerlain Terracotta blush in deep nude above the light coral. Then we move over just 1 swatch there of the Saint Laurent All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder. Then, as they are laid out in the pan, we have the Hesperides Petits Four from Viseart, and then the Isolde Petits Four from Viseart. Those little quads right there, they're just $25 each, like little pieces of candy. They are so sweet and apply so beautifully to the eyes. What's wrong with me that I forgot the swatches in the warm California sunshine? There's our blush and bronzer and our Hesperides and Isolde palettes from Viseart. Can't believe I almost forgot that. You see them so much better in natural lighting. Take a look at those, and then we will go to the try-on. Now what we're going to do now is we are going to go to the demo. We're going to make sure everything gets its due and gets tried on, including two little slightly different eye looks from each of these palettes. Don't forget to use timestamps if you're running out of time, or join us for everything. I do have my 20K celebration video coming up. It should be this week actually, where we'll have a big giveaway and I'm answering all of your burning questions. I've gotten so many thoughtful, really cool questions. So I'm going to be talking about myself. That's weird. It's really weird for me coming up this week. So thank you so much for putting me over the 20K mark. Definitely add your subscription to it if you haven't subscribed yet. And let's go to the demo. All right, so let me tell you what I've got on my face right now. I have a little bit of the Louboutin foundation. I've got the Fenty concealer. You know, I've been really enjoying that. All the details are down below in the description bar. I've got some Westman Atelier lipstick on with a liner. Again, that will be down there. And pretty much other than that, let's just fill out what we got here. Let's start with this beautiful, the case is so lovely, this YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder. As you know, I have the shade 02 Buff Dune, and I have this lovely Sonia G bronzing brush. Now, of course, you can sculpt with this, you can build this, you can blur the skin, warm up the skin. I choose to just kind of bronze it or warm up the skin. So I'm just going to go kind of around the hairline. I got a light enough shade for me. I do like a dark bronzer, but I got a light enough shade that I can just kind of use this all around the face to warm it up. And yes, I'm even going onto the cheeks a little bit. I have gotten onto the neck a little bit. I've gotten pretty pale this winter. I wear sunscreen and I avoid the sun, but you know, when the sun isn't out quite as much, it is amazing what a dive our skin can take, no matter your skin tone, from the deepest skin tone to the lightest. We still can get a little bit lighter when there's no sun out. So this is a really beautiful product, and in terms of scent, we don't have any, but speaking of scent, we are going to put on the Guerlain Terracotta blush now. And I do forgive, I've told you this many times, I'm sure I've said it already in this video, I do forgive Guerlain. They are a perfume house, the fragrance house, so you know. All right, so let's do some deep nude, and we'll do some light coral, and then we'll balance it out. So I have, for those of you playing along at home, a Refer 24, and this is so pretty, but it is going to have a little bit of a scent. So let me just put this on. I'll tell you what I like about this Guerlain. Okay, there is a quick burst of fragrance. It's Guerlain. What do you expect? What I like about this is there is absolutely zero stain. When you wherever you put your brush down first is where you're going to have the biggest amount of pigment. So sometimes there's a little bit of blending that has to take place. If you are a bit of a dunce like me and you put your brush down, you're going to have that kind of little bit of a blob to contend with. But this is such a soft and slow building blush and so diffused that it really doesn't do that no matter where you put it down. Now, I am way overdoing it just for you to be able to see the shade, but even blended out, I think you can tell that is a very pretty, very natural flush, but of course, I overdid it, of course, so that you can see it. But I also, this isn't the only shade I got. I also got the light coral shade. These are adorable little cases, adorable little things. And I do have a Refer number 5 right here that looks a little bit dirty. It's not. I just filmed this in poor lighting before. Remember, I have a borrowed camera, so I realized I had to adjust it, had to take off the makeup and do it again. So we had done the light coral. Isn't that pretty? And I'm going to build this up and continue building it just to make sure you can see the color. But I just love that no matter where you plop your blush down, this is very forgiving. There's a good word for it. Okay, so now we have, is that deep enough for you guys to be able to see it? There we go. So now we have two different shades. I'm always so out of whack. Honestly, I'm not comfortable now unless I'm leaning one way or the other in these videos. But now we have our light coral and our deep nude, but all over the face to warm it. We have this beautiful, beautiful YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder. This is just such a simple blush. I have over applied it, of course, but it is such a simple, pretty blush. I really, really love it. Okay, I have no mascara or liner on because when I take off eyeshadow, and I'm taking off mascara and liner, I'm sure you can imagine I really can hurt my eyes. So we're going to do the Hesperides palette with 2 eyes but no mascara. And then we'll do Isolde with mascara and the benefit of mascara and things like that. So let's just do this on both eyes so we can take a look at it here. And these are Sonia G brushes. And I am just going to put this all over here. I was surprised at the amount of kind of purpley plum pink cast that the shade had to it. It kind of hid in there and posed as a little bit of a tan. And it was really kind of surprising to see it go that almost cool, almost a violet shade. And I'm going to take the same brush from Sonia G and just go in with this shade down here into the crease, because these are mattes and I have hooded eyes. And you don't have to follow the rules, but you know, sometimes rules are there for a little bit of a reason. And I'm going to switch up to another new Sonia G brush and run that same shade just a little bit underneath. Again, we don't have the benefit of mascara and eyeliner, which is a shame because they do really help, to be honest with you. Okay, and then let's go ahead. I want to use both of these shades. So let me take this shade right here with my finger and just go on right across the lid. Isn't that pretty? Right across the lid there. And then, wiping off my finger, let's do the other eye with this one. This duochrome or multi-chrome here too. So we have the same kind of look at the base look with those two shades, but I am showing you each palette's kind of shimmer fun shade, as I like to call it. Let's use my other finger there. Just so you can kind of really see it displayed. Remember, guys, it's really important for me to tell you, this is not about creating a look. I leave the artistry to you. I am a beauty journalist. I just kind of want to show you when I swatch these things on my face, how they're going to look. What you come up with in order to make these work on your eye is your artistry. And there are enough channels that do elaborate looks. I'm just going to do a simple look, but I'm also testing the product. So I just wanted you to get a nice view of each of these shades. And I think they're absolutely lovely. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to even out this blush because I do look a little bit silly. And then I am going to get some mascara and such on so that when we do the Isolde palette, we can just apply that to both. But this is two different looks with the Hesperides palette, so you can just kind of see what that looks like. Okay. Let me get everything all organized and straightened down now. Stay right Okay, we are all fixed up and balanced now. I am wearing the deep nude shade on both cheeks. We have some mascara on. And we're going to look at the Isolde palette, which you've already seen swatched. Also, very pretty palette. Let's see what we can do with it. It seems similar. Remember, you've seen it swatched. It seems similar in pan, but definitely it's a little bit different. So let's take a look here. We have a much more kind of true to form tan kind of coffee color here. And I am using Sky Brush from Sonia G. And then we're going to go in with this slightly shimmery deep brown shade. And I'm going to put that into the outer corner on both eyes. I feel kind of soothing today. Must be this new borrowed camera. I don't want to scare it, so I'm talking kind of a more soothing manner, I think, than normal. Usually a little more frenetic than this. Okay, and let me switch over to, this is a rougher brush. This is the number 2 mini, and I'm going to go in with that same shade under the eye. Okay, and Sonia G, you know what, let's do that again like we did on the last eye. So we can really see these really fun shimmer shades. Let's go ahead and put that over the whole eye. Well, this is kind of a pretty pinky brown shade. I want to really lay it on there. Has the feeling, texture of kind of one of Natasha Denona's shades, actually, from like I Need a Nude. Has that same kind of texture to it. And then switching fingers here to this shade here, just so you can really see what it looks like. Again, doing less of an artistic look, though I mean it's pretty, but more of just showing you how the colors layer and work together. So we have the same, again, just like we did on the last palette, we have the same base, but I just kind of changed up so you could really see a nice almost eye swatch of those really pretty shimmery shades in the Isolde palette. So what do you think? Pretty nice, huh? Good stuff. Okay, let me just tell you my final thoughts. In terms of Viseart, if you are a fan of the Viseart Petits fours, you're going to Absolutely love these. They are beautiful, really easy to work with. Very kind of neutral but light for spring, and great color stories for those of us, and myself included, who really love kind of an amped up neutral. Viseart is great at that, and I think these are perfect. 2 matte or slightly matte shimmery shades, and these 2 really gorgeous shimmering shades and some duochromes in there. I mean, very pretty. Can't go wrong. Do you need both of these? Probably not. They are somewhat similar in vibe, but they're lovely, and they're these little candy prices at $25. Do you remember when Natasha Denona used to be $25 for her minis? Not so much anymore, but these are $25, so it's good value for money. All right, let's talk about the Guerlain Terracotta blushes. Final thoughts on those. They do have a little bit of a fragrance. Forgiving Guerlain for that, of course, because they are a fragrance house. They are infinitely buildable, super easy to use, incredibly beautifully finely milled, but they don't poof up with lots of pigment. This is a great blush for those of you who feel like you're always messing up your blush. You know, if you're often having to take your brush and dot over whatever foundation was left on to cover up blush mistakes, if you're often feeling frustrated or like you almost have to take your hand to rub it in, if blush frustrates you, these will not. They are very easy to use, and the shades, because they're kind of skin tone shades, they can really just meld in with your skin if you want them to be subtle, or you can do like I did here, have it be a little bit more of a bold statement, but still very easy to use. So good reviews on those. I thought when I purchased this YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze Powder, I thought I didn't need another bronzer, and everybody loves the Gucci. I love this one. First of all, the packaging is out of this world, right? I mean, come on. And secondly, there's no real scent. Now again, when I say there's no scent, I'm not checking ingredients. I mean, that hits me in the face, okay? There might be fragrance listed in the ingredient list. I'm just talking about what I sense. And I love the shade that I got that's a tad bit too light for me because I can just go to town. And as you saw, I even kind of used it a little bit like a blush. This is an absolutely lovely, I mean, you know, it ain't cheap, but it is an absolutely lovely one. I prefer it to the Gucci, which most people at Gucci is their favorite. I prefer this no crazy hit you over the head fragrance. So a table full of beautiful makeup now. You know, I have a series, well, I've only done one. I'm about to do the second. I'm working on the second, called Makeup. You know, makeup that's makeup. And I'm working on the second one. Let me tell you, harder and harder to get these things together because makeup is getting better and better, including drugstore makeup. And I know I don't review drugstore, but I still have my eye on it. And it's getting harder to make bad makeup. It's very rare. Everything on my table today is quite lovely, but maybe you disagree. This is where you come in. This is what makes us a community. Tell me down below your thoughts on everything we've spoken about today. What do you like? What do you not like? What are you ordering? What are you on the fence about? I would like to know all of that good stuff. And of course, don't forget to like this video and share it, and obviously subscribe. What are you thinking? And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.